What is up, Earthnoids and Spacenoids? I am just a simple new type, and in this episode, we are returning to the fastest formula in F90 FF. Last time, Durr piloted F90 Unit 3. Kitchener tried to set off a mini-nuke, but was killed by Cypher, and a mysterious dreg made its appearance. This time, the Legacy Fleet and various remnant groups run an operation to take over a satellite weapon orbiting the Earth's sphere. Before fastest formula could get there, they must fight against an Egon fleet, and Durr goes into a coma. So let's get into this. Kamatada writes to Charles Rochester. It has been 4 years since they departed from Mars. Most Spacenoids don't have Earth on their mind. It is no longer the days of the poor and working class being pushed into the colonies. They have a thriving middle class. Most problems seem to be colonial disputes with no involvement of Earth. She thinks the days of Xeon are gone. She has also chosen to be a Gundam pilot. The alarms go off on the Ajax. In the briefing room, Gideon tells the team of the mayor's ties to former AUG and corruption in the Public Colony Corporation created a riot with mobile suits. This is typically a job for the police, but it seems they are trying to resell it to the Jupiter Development Corporation, which is then funneling the mobile suits into the frontier colonies. When the colonists have attacks on air and water, unlike on Earth, you're damn right they're going to want to know where their money goes. This will just start another riot in the frontier colonies. Their job is to get ahead of it. Li Xiaomei says that something seems off about the AUG rioters. They assembled far too quickly and might be co-opted. Durr is being sent out in the E-Type. At Side 1, Colony 107, known as Barat, a scouting team is taken out by the fastest formula. Durr uses the E-Type to break into the colony. They enter to find that the colony is polluted. The Public Colony Corporation controls the pollution levels of every colony. Clearly, some will take money and look the other way. A Sturm Dias and other mobile suits approach the team. The Sturm Dias uses a clay bazooka on Kanata's Gundam. They are willing to use high-powered ballistics within the colony. Kanata is piloting F90 Unit 2 with the T-Type mission pack. The F90T Gundam F90 Tracer Type is a defensive mission pack for F90. This adds large shields on each shoulder and a long-range propulsion backpack. The shields have anti-beam coating. They also contain a double-beam gun. Other weapons include a beam saber, a beam rifle, and Vulcan guns. Weapons are stored on the weapons rack on the skirt. Kanata tells the team that she will hold these units off while the rest heads towards City Hall. She activates the CA personality computer and goes 3 times normal speed. Kanata takes down the Sturm Dias and the remaining team. She apologizes as these people are former AU who once fought alongside the Gundam, but she wants to use this Gundam to put an end to these remnants. Gideon was able to secure City Hall. Durr was using the E-Type to monitor outside the colony. But Gideon tells him to come inside. Their leader ended up taking his life. They happen to have a Tigress too. The E-Type cracks into the Tigress, but they wiped everything before taking their life. Durr is able to recover some files. He is shocked by the data he recovers. It is a photo of Machuca and a dataset regarding the biocomputer. At the Federation Assembly, Hautsuri gives a speech calling out the carelessness of the handling of illegal immigration on Earth, as many still don't have basic human rights. He tells them to pull themselves up by their very expensive bootstraps. Hautsuri takes the Hathaway approach in that he believes that humanity must atone for their sins and emigrate to the colonies. He finds the privileged class to be a burden to the system. Luckily, with their advancement in VSBR tech, they can move forward with the Vanguard and Trimurti. More on this soon. In the past, in Von Braun City, Misma is meeting with Rivera. He is selling operational data of the F90 and F91. In exchange, he knows Kurozo is the one providing Boz with his paycheck. Rivera also has intel on the Yuri Manowski project. A part of this is Cypher, Durr, and Patsy. This is the enemy Misma needs to take out. We see the Trimurti being built. Meanwhile, the Anaheim Electronics Livermore plant. Durr will be the one to test out the Tigress too. Li Xiaomei says that this is an advanced version of what took down Patsy 4 years ago. Most of the parts adhere to a universal standard, but it isn't AE's work. It has some influence of the Gaza line of mobile suits from Axis, mainly the transformable frame. It seems similar to what Randiger Heavy Industries had on display 5 years ago. They wonder if they are intertwined in some kind of conspiracy. However, they can't think of the mobile suit now, as they just get word that Trimurti is being intercepted by the Legacy Fleet. They assume they are there to take out the satellite or assassinate the VIPs. Curo Rona happens to be visiting. The Ajax sets out from the moon to meet up with the Legacy fleet to intercept the Trimurti. So what is the Trimurti? This asteroid was built to intercept asteroid threats coming towards the Earth. However, if rebel forces get a hold of it, it can be used as a weapon against Earth. They can allow this power to fall into the hands of the Legacy fleet. Meanwhile, a team of Jagans near the Earth sphere is taken out by Cypher and the Drake. Captain Troa, Trivaldio, and Egon are ready to uphold the legacy of Shar Aznable. Sturm Diaz's and Nemo's begin attacking. Ajax gets word that the Legacy fleet surrounded Trimurti. There was a patrol force, but the Egon forces took them out near the agricultural satellite Mistletoe. They seem to be aware of the Ajax's movement, so they will have to intercept Egon before reaching Trimurti. Two remnant groups with different ideologies are coming together. Gideon tells Dur that he has to come back alive because he has a gift for him, something that was left by his mom. He says, "Yeah man, I totally banged your mom back in the day." Kanata makes fun of Dur, teasing him by repeating Gideon's words but offering her a body instead of mommy gifts. Near Earth is Egon's flagship, the Cavendish. I appreciate them keeping the Irish class names with the ish naming convention. Trivaldio preps her fleet for the fastest formula. The Ajax team switches the Hull Fighter to Hull Blaster mode. The Hull Blaster is the Hull Fighter that utilizes the VSBR from the V-Type mission pack. Giving this a VSBR makes the fighter powerful without even combining with the Gundam. When combined with the F90, it becomes the NV-Type. While prepping for launch, Dur thinks about Veronica. Dur takes off in the NV-Type. A few hours before Egon and Fastest Formula make contact, Legacy Commander Rain Dragoon is meeting with Curo Rona. Haman definitely wore it better. They're on the colony Oakleaf, which is in a zebra zone on the far side of the moon. Kuroto is representing Meitzer in this meeting. He doesn't approve of Hautsudi's methods. Currently, his method of handling things in the shadows resemble in many ways the disappearance of many Russians during the Bolshevik Revolution and the Civil War that followed. Even Meitzer is opposed to Hautsudi's methods. He just likes to dabble in genocide, but you never go full genocide. He says sometimes they have to sever ties with family to ensure the survival of the human race. After the meeting, Kuroto talks to his subordinate, Gillette, who tells him about their plans to take out the Zeon remnants. He thinks that they are expendable, but Kuroto wants them to integrate into Crossbone Vanguard if possible. Egon engages with the fastest formula. They are Daikun loyalists and spout the words of Zeon Daikun. Commander Trivaldio tells Cypher that he and Fons Kagati should retreat as they have to handle Trimurti. She continues fighting on and pushes forward suicidally. The port side of the Ajax gets hit. The captain isn't changing course, however, and even though their mobile suits are old, Fastest Formula is vastly outnumbered. He is relying on Dur to handle the situation. Dur sets his VSBR to max output and fires on the Salamis Kai-class ship, taking it out. Gideon uses this opportunity to push forward. Little by little, Egon's mobile suits and cruisers go down. The Cavendish takes critical damage. Trivaldio wonders if a young boy like Camille is piloting this Gundam. She thinks back to Char's ideals that she's so believed in. At a certain point, she started realizing that Char, or no one leader, is going to give them salvation. They must fight for it themselves. There are Nemos missing arms and legs, unable to fight, but they still push forward, even though Fastest Formula has no chance of losing against them. Egon's sheer confidence in their final moments scare them. Even in death, they have been unfazed. Dur eventually ends it and takes out Trivaldio's flagship, killing her in the process. The Ajax captain notices their bravery and shows respect to the enemy, but it is short-lived as they keep moving forward towards Trimurti. Dur says this whole experience was sad. As he and Misma head back to the ship, Dur is shot. It was a Sturm Diaz barely hanging on to life. In that moment, Dur hears Matrika's voice. An Egon group calling themselves Nouveau Egon has seized control of a nuclear power plant on the moon. The Pan-African Liberation has control of the African nuclear arsenal. Other remnant groups are taking over Side 1, Ravada, along with Side 3, led by the Republic Liberation Front. We meet Anaheim Electronics agent Argentum. I wonder who this is. She is talking to Veronica about the power of Rhine Dragoon. She is lending the Dreg to Veronica. One thing to note is that the Dreg isn't the mobile suit's real name. It was the name given by the creator of the mobile suit. The real name is Active. It is Veronica who gives it the name Active Dreg. Dur is passed out. He doesn't have any injuries. He's just in a coma from shock. Gideon says that there will be many remnant forces in between them and the Trimurti. The Dreg will most likely be there as well. The N-type mission pack is specifically designed for Dur, so Kanata can't use it. Gideon's F89 is getting a loadout that can take on the Dreg. Kanata is going to get a special pack for fleet assault. Mizma and Baz are going to support the Gundam, opening up a path to the Trimurti. Kanata thinks back to a call with Bosch Weller and Charles. They are all working within EFF for the sake of Marzion. We assume this, but this is the first time someone said it out loud. Bosch says that Charles and Kanata are the next generation and must bring change. Kanata doesn't have an answer to what it means to be a new type, but she knows she doesn't want the fastest formula to get hurt. She believes the Gundam will lead her to an answer. They prep for battle. Helphaden tells Kanata that they created a combination of the plunge type and the VSBR type called the PV type. This variant equips VSBRs to the atmospheric re-entry mission pack. The plunge pack is light on weapons, but with a VSBR, it makes it a deadly mobile suit with the speed of a mobile armor. Earlier, we saw Mizma sneaking around Baz. He knows of Mizma's sneaking. Baz says he doesn't kill for no reason and is looking for a reason to kill him. Gideon's F89 is the F89 final equipment type. This adds 2 rail cannons like the ones used by the land combat type Jim. It also equips a pair of missile pods used on the Jagan B type and a missile container. Cypher's Dreg monitors space when Gideon comes in with the rail cannon. The two whip out their beam sabers to see whose is bigger. While this is happening, Rain Dragoon's Guadon-class ship approaches Trimurti. His mobile armor's biocomputer is synced and good to go. He launches the Gremlin 2 and the Neo Psychomu. Controlling this biocomputer system happens to be Matrika. And that will do it for this episode. Curo Rona is making moves that will set him apart from Hout-City. As Hout-City isn't in the picture come F91, we could assume that the Rona family will be consolidated. Next time, the Trimurti incident begins. Jared wakes up from his coma, and Helphaden creates a fusion of 4 mission packs in one. But that will do it for now, new types. Never say the words, come back safe. It always does the opposite. Peace.